Welcome to other episode of DHSA training. So we're making a resumption of our previous training. I hope you are all good. Thank you for those of us who are joining us from different countries. And also for those of us who are locally available. Let me just prepare a bit, some small documents before we begin. So our training is just a resumption of our previous. We are proceeding with the DHSA VSS certification. So just a continuation of what we have been doing before. However, today's content would be a bit different as we are now moving into the core of DAHUA. So we've been, last week we did a training on, recorders. We also did training on basic network information. So based on certification and maybe examination, I think it will be covered in during the certification examination. So I hope all of you can hear me well. If you can't, maybe you can raise your hand, or maybe you can do inquiries at the chat section. So for any questions or any concern, you can reach out in the chat section. So let me begin by introducing myself. My name is Shelton Kikwech. I'm from the tech support department at DAHUA Technology. So this is our address, 65. Kindly a minute.
Oh, you just start now.
So sorry for the interruption. So our address is as below, and my contact is this. So I have another number which I usually use in the groups, so that can also reach me out in the other number. So we did last week a training on basic networking. So we have covered about recorders basic recorder training. We have done a training on basic CCTV, and also have covered about cabling. So different parts of cable, different types of cable, so on and so forth. So today's training is going to dive into core of DAHUA, like we're now focusing in more of DAHUA products. So we are remaining with quite a lot of theory, but today we're going to do just about 30-minute session, 35 minute session, then we'll break. So contrary to what we've been doing before, we'll not have two sessions today, we'll only have one session. Maybe tomorrow we can resume with the other training. So today's training is about IPC Products Introduction, which is focusing more on DAHUA. So the building you're seeing at the top side is the HQ office at DAHUA. So I'm going to introduce to you about products overview, what we have, and then we're going to do about naming rule. So naming rule is quite important it's very important in identifying products, being able to suggest the correct products for customer, being able to do that good suggestion and good recommendation for products. So the DAHUA products are so if you see those cameras, you might at times you might see some gibberish numbers written behind them. So those numbers are each of the value indicated. Those numbers are identified to something. So if you see the number by the end of this training, I hope you'll be able to judge what the properties of certain camera, what it can do, how many megapixels, how that its AI functions, and so on and so forth. So our products are arranged in less. We have entry series products, we have light series, pro series, Wismind Special and the Wismind Panoramic series. So as the hierarchy goes up through the pyramid, the functionalities and more specification on the product increases, as also the price. So you know that. So the entry series are the low end entry, and the Wismind series or light series are the typically the products that you'll find in households, or maybe small to low end configuration setting. So we have middle end products, that's Wismind 5. So they include this camera. So by just viewing the camera, you'll not be able to know which category this camera belongs to. But once you'll be able to see the product number or the product name, you can judge what that product can do and the specified features for that product. So we have a naming rule that we use in Dahua for identifying our products. So the naming rule is below. This is just an example. So a minute. So we have a naming rule that we use to identify our products. So from the list you can see below, from the list that you're seeing in the diagram, is the general naming rule that we use in Dahua. So you might find a product that is written DH IPC something. So those values indicate a specified field function. For the case, maybe this scenario they have taken for a network camera. So DH is a Dahua brand. So if you see DH in camera, that means it's a Dahua brand. IPC means an IP camera. So this is a network camera. HFW means a bullet. So we have different values at this point from beginning from the HFW. So we might have HD, that's a dome. We might have E is a fisheye. So if you see E at this beginning point after the IPC, that from the judging, if you know this naming rule, you'll be able to know this one is a fisheye, whether this is a mobile IR, so on and so forth. So after the camera type, we have the number beginning is the series. So you remember when we were talking about this series entry light pro, so the number increases as you go up. So if you have a camera as 1, that's an entry series, 2 is a light series, so even up to 8. So as you go down the list, the functionalities of the camera increases, AI functionalities increases as much as the price. So after the platform, now we go to the number after the platform is this resolution. So we have cameras up to even 32 megapixels resolution. So from this number, like this one is, for this case, is a 2 megapixels. If you see a 4, it's a 4 megapixels. If you see 16, that's a 16 megapixels, 32 and so on and so forth. 3, from the third side, after the resolution is the generation of the camera. So when we are doing introduction to a CCTV, basic camera information, we did types of sensors. You remember we talk about CCD and CMOS, and then we do from this category. We have even H265 and AI. So the AI is the top level. H265 is just a compression technology, but it's also applied to camera. So if you're buying cameras, you can maybe purchase from 3 to 4, depending also on your budget. After the generation, we have the function. So we talk about also all this information during our introduction to CCTV. So if you don't know, maybe you can do a back check on the same theory we did. So all the videos are available online. I shared the link on YouTube. So if you might buy maybe a camera with one, you know that's supposed to WDR Starlight, so Starlight Plus full color. So So most of the recent technology that that's more selling in this region, the Africa region, is the full color. So if you're buying a camera, you can see, if you see the number 9, you know that's just a full camera, the last numerical value. So that's a full color. So by able to just viewing the camera code, you'll be able to know this camera is from which series, is how many resolution the camera has, the generation, and the support function. So I hope that is clear. So if you have any question, you can reach out at the chat section. The other after the function, we have the other letters that are usually indicated at the camera. So the E is in terms of appearance. So how does the camera look? Does it have IR? Does it have is it a dome? So there's always a confusion between the camera type and the appearance. So appearance is more focused on the detailed information, like is it a metal? Because the camera network camera type will not indicate whether it's a plastic or metal. So this value at this point here will judge how it appears. So we have metal, we have plastics, we have how many lenses does the camera have? Some cameras have 2 lenses. So that's from the appearance side. The P here, this value here has two fields, either a P or an N. So a P refers to a video format of PAL, and N, NTSC. So while we're doing training on cameras and recorders, remember we talk about the video format. So if you are in a country with a 50 Hertz power frequency, so you're going to use a P. If you're currently with more than 50 Hertz, that's 60, you can use NTSC. So different regions have different camera video format, but to ease the process of you identifying such little information, what products that get shipped in this region are usually P, considering we know which power the country uses, so we know which products best fit that country. So other functions are you can from after the hyphen we have the Z. So after the hyphen, there's usually some other fields. You might find some are written S1, some are written BVs, and so on. So those are the specified functions for the camera. So in immediate after this one is Z. So from this list here, you can see the Z is the zoom, motorized zoom, meaning this camera is a varifocal with the motorized zoom lens. So we have different functions like PV. You might find a full color camera with PV, so it has perimeter vigilance, more focused on function for perimeter protection. So for the case for the certification and so on, but some little information might be required for you to identify camera, maybe how many megapixels this camera has. Is it a full color or not full color camera? So is it a AI? Is it a CMOS sensor? So it's good for you to know this product naming rule, and also especially it's very good for those who are doing sale of DAFWA products. So for you to be able to judge faster to the customer and be able to respond quickly to customer, you need to know you need to master this product naming rule. So if you are maybe a reseller or a person who is involved in selling of DAFWA products, it's good for you to know that you need to know what are the functions of the different cameras, how many megapixels to avoid, to save on time, and also to do customer response very fast. So I hope that is clear. So from the naming rule of network cameras, so we have special cameras that have their specified naming rules. So this applies to the panoramic series camera. So when we're doing product functions for camera, we talked about panoramic series. So those series of cameras have their own specified naming rule. So for this case, we have a camera written as PSDW. So from this list, you can see PSDW is a multi-sensor and a PTZ. So this case, if you get a camera with a PTZ function, and at the same time they have a fixed length sensors. Sorry. So there's no about bullet or dome, so it's more of the panoramic series. So platform. So if you see a PTZ multi-sensor camera with 8, so that's a project product, meaning it's specified into a specified project. I hope you understand me from that. If you see from 5, you see it's a middle end. 4, it's a low end multi-sensor panoramic product. Also, the resolution case applies to this series for cameras, so even up to 32. So the second digit also always refers to the resolution. The third value also, like the previous camera, is about the generation the camera supports. So from this case, it's just about fast H265 and AI. So we don't have CMOS and CCD sensors. The last numerical value will represent the function of the camera. So this also applies to this naming rule for the first list, the network cameras. Also this one appears the same information. So this one is a video format. So these are, I think by now you understand the video format. The A will mean splicing or transplicing, so you'll get to know about this details later. Then the last value will be the field of view angle the camera can cover. So you have panoramic that cover even 360, like this PTZ will cover a series of 360 degrees. Okay, resume. So we're going now to dive into the Wismind. So you see Wismind is from the series 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the numbering is like you begin. So you begin from this point, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So is that 6? So there's no 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you jump to 7 and 8. Maybe they'll introduce 6 later. So that's the numbering. So 1 is the entry series, 2 is the light series, 3 is the width sense, 4 is the pro series, 5 is the Wismind, 7 is the Wismind 7 series. So Wismind is like the core. So the Wismind series is the high-end products that Dow will sell. Like the cameras, if the camera is a Wismind series, either series 5 or series 7, it means its functionality is good in terms of AI processing and so on and so forth. So the Wismind series cameras are made to fit into the solution industry, like for the cases about video metadata, where you identify the person based on whether they have beard, whether they have glasses on, whether the person was wearing a mask. So this Wismind series camera can support that case. So we also have stereo analysis. Maybe you can check what stereo analysis is, but it's more of a 3D creation of an image. 3D creation of an image. So also from the Wismind series, we have facial recognition, people counting, heat map, privacy protection. So this feature we did not talk about, but privacy protection basically means to tell the camera not to be able to monitor this region. So it's very good in secure sections. So when a while back when we were doing a training at Golden Tulip, I think this camera was mentioned, which support privacy protection. So like if you're monitoring a building and you don't want the camera to be able to see people's windows, but the camera to be able to detect maybe falling objects. So the cameras that support such cases are the Wismit series. So from Wismit 5 to Wismit 7. Also about if you are going to do ANPR vehicle metadata, so the Wismit series will also do that case. So typical application for the Wismit series include from the small medium businesses to government and even finance, building. So it's a middle end to high end solution case. And also the Wismit series does not only apply to IPC, but also to NVR. So it also to NVR. So we'll get to know maybe later about NVR because now we're talking about the IPC. So panoramic scenes via a single device. So I think we talked about this feature with about panoramic. So you'll be able to judge, to know that panoramic cameras are able to view a large region. So the typical applications for panoramic series is intersection, square, supermarket, etc. So the panoramic series can cover angles of up to 360 degrees. So you can see from the naming rule, we have a list of the angles that the panoramic series cover. So 180, 270, 360. From the appearance, you can see. So we have these cameras are the panoramic series. So the fisheye will be. Is it a panoramic series or a network camera? I think there's a bit of confusion from the documentation because we have a fisheye from the network camera. At the same time, we have there was a bit confusion, but basically the fisheye should be in this category, considering the angle for fisheye is more like 180 and a bit more. So you can see from these cameras here is that the panoramic series appearance. So these are like this case, the bottom one is a 4-in-1 camera. So you have series 5, you can see say 80 megapixels. These are the 2 megapixels, can cover 360 degrees, 360. This one can cover 180 degrees, 180. So from the naming rule, you'll be able to judge what this can do. The first one is a PTZ plus multi-sensor plus PTZ, PSDW. So the multi-sensor comes in this case. So you see the bottom part is a PTZ. Let me just enlarge it. So the bottom part is a PTZ, this section here. And then from each, these are cameras. You see these ones, sorry, not that one, this one. This is another camera. So that's the meaning of PSDW. So you get a PTZ and a panoramic series camera here. So we'll get to know more of that later. So for those of us maybe who have been coming to our offices and wondering what these cameras are, now you can judge for yourself. Also, as we proceed, we'll be able to know what functions these cameras do, what they are capable of. Now we're going to dive into the details about the camera. So panoramic series, Hubble series product comparison. So we're going to talk about this. So this camera, you can see it has the features like IVS. We talked about IVS, I'm not going to talk about it now. We talked about cloud map. So it has the cloud map, it has the anti-corrosion option. So maybe when you're suggesting a product for a coastal region, you can use something that you can put into consideration, considering we have high levels of corrosion for metallic devices. Okay. So other features that supported for this camera is like a vehicle density roadmap, image correction. So different cameras which appear the same, but different functionalities have different features. Yep, I'm clear. So like for this case, cameras like this one will have these features. Cameras like this one will have features like this. Cameras like these ones will have features like this. So we have different functions here. Is it from the last M? Hubble. So I think it's a practice that you can do a check on our website. Maybe you can be checking products, then you match with the naming rule so that you can be able to easily identify the camera, know the features, etc. So it also talk about this camera. So from this case, you can see the features for this camera: cloud map, vehicle situation, perimeter protection, image optimization, and AR map. So remember, when you're talking about such cases for camera, these are project-based camera. So maybe if you have a building or maybe a parking lot for the government, etc., for the city council, etc., you can, these types of camera are the project-based cameras, which do optimum performance in sites. So with panoramic series, so you see we talk about E. So there is the E and the EBW. So there's the E is a fisheye. Then there is EBW, vandal-proof IR fisheye. So you have fisheye, you have vandal-proof. So for this case, this one is a vandal-proof fisheye IR. Yeah, from the naming rule. So applications for the fisheye, considering it's a series 8 cameras. Remember, we talked about it's more of project-based situation for cameras. So for this kind of fisheye, will have the function like queue management, people counting, heat map, and a fisheye VR function. So you get a typical scenario where you apply fisheye is maybe when you are doing installation on supermarket cases. You find the supermarket might approach you telling you that we need solution for to do analysis, or maybe what you can do, you can approach them, tell them that we have a camera that can be able to detect people in the lines, so we know which line has more people. If it reaches threshold, you can have alarms and be able to handle such cases where you have more people in one line and less people in other. At the same time, we have fisheye that supports heat map. So this camera supports heat map. So the same case of a supermarket where you have installed the fisheye camera, you might you can tell the management that this camera will help you to do analysis of the system of the supermarket and know which region has more people going to. So based on the cases like that, you might be able to know which brand sells more, which section of the supermarket attract people more, so that you can do more sales, focus on to do more sales on such case. So unlike the traditional case where you'd have to do to depend on the judgment for people to do analysis of the site and prediction for customer cases. So you might just present with fisheye to improve our sales for the customer. That's just one of the scenarios that you can apply this fisheye. You also have this one. So this one is a EW. So this case is not a vandal proof. So there's EW and the EBW. So EW is just an IR fisheye. EB. So if you see a B, it's a vandal proof. So this case is not a vandal proof fisheye. So that typical application is just an indoor site. So it supports people counting, back derap, perimeter protection, and heat map. So we can see an example of a crowd map function. So I hope you can see the video from your screen. So this is the video on your screens is just about a demonstration of a crowd map where it's counting the people, and from that you can use the information to judge like if certain threshold is met, you can alert the authorities to come and eject people. Or you can use that to your advantage. So vehicle density. So this is a function of vehicle density, also to reduce about traffic and etc. So a vehicle density is just it's like crowd map for vehicles. Perimeter protection. We talked about perimeter protection. For the specified cameras for the Series 8 product project-based cameras, so we have this panoramic camera together with this PTZ. So for this case, you'll be able to do image tracking with this PTZ and this one identify. So you can see demonstration on this case where the bus. So we can begin. So you can see this case, this bus entered an IVS rules region perimeter protection. So it's the case where these buses are not allowed to use this lane. So this panoramic series will identify that, trigger an alarm, and the PTZ will do tracking on the same. So you see the PTZ is focusing on the bottom side. Image optimization. We're just doing functions of the cameras. So image optimization is just it's more of creating a very good image for you to view at the final stage. So the camera will cover an angle of 180 degrees, but you cannot see the image of 180. If the image of 180 is presented to you, you'll see something blurry. So what is done is image correction, and you get the final image. Supports original non-splicing stream image and storage. So at the end, the camera presents something to you that's very good for viewing. People counting. You can see a fisheye camera. This is a fisheye view camera. You can see the people counting in demonstration. So accuracy rate up to 90 degrees. Also remember, while doing installation for such cases of camera, you need to put into consideration cases like lighting, cases like installation height for optimum performance of the camera. Heat map. This is still a fisheye camera. So you can see this is an output for the camera to indicate which region has more. So you can see the red region is the hot regions, which has more people. So the fisheye can also be do judgment based on the time someone stood there and etc. So also you remember fisheye will view this image like this, but we also have a feature known as fisheye derapping. Fisheye derapping is a feature on the NVR side that will be used to create image that you'll do a view on it. So this is a case for a fisheye derapping. Will be presented with a good image to view. So you can see demonstration. So for this case, the original image was a circle. But you have fisheye derapping cases where you'll be able to view the multiple layouts of the image. So the fisheye camera is a very good camera. So you can then you can. So the installation modes for a fisheye, you can install it in ceilings, in walls, and on the ground. So with the supports of different DRAP modes. So it's a very good camera for project cases. So in supermarkets, warehouses, big halls, you can do installation of fisheye. In cases like banks, you can do installation of fisheye. We have other series of camera special. So remember when you're talking about this list here at the first section, at the pyramid. So we have this special series camera. So they're in their own category. So if we handle about Wismit panoramic, then we go into special series camera. So the special cameras are like, and see for this case, we have cameras that are installed at corner places. We have pinhole cameras, that's small cameras. We have people counting cameras. So cameras that have two lens. So dual lens camera. So it has features functions like fall detection. So it's a bit more focused on AI features, like doing a fall detection if someone is falling, or someone gets stranded, people approaching detection, error detection, violence, people counting, queue management. So this one can be installed in sites like airport and etc. So fall detection, you can see fall detection in demonstration. I hope that is. Cannot play. Maybe you can zoom from my side. So these are fall detection. Then you can have alarms linked to that case. Have violence detection. People number error. People approaching.